It's nuts. It's nuts. We're back at it, Oaks. We're back at it Thursday now. Thursday. You know what I'm saying is don't mind the time in the bottom right because usually I record these the night before, but I was like, nah, let me record it this morning because I take my sister's car for a service. So I was like, may as well wake up early and bang out the video. But Lich Lord had an absolutely unreal performance on Tuesday, but today we're going to be looking at inciN CT side performance against DNMK. Like, who would have thought that DNMK scalps would get taken by damage control? Like, they bring it back. They bring it back. So, like, they've had a relatively average start to the intermediate division, I'd say. They're 4 for 3 right now with a couple forfeit wins, but I have to say, like, expected win. Ikasi was probably not an expected loss per se. I think that game could have gone any way. But I think the one that stands out here is definitely the result against DNMK, taking the scalps of a top team in the country, no doubt about it. Up 11-4 at the end of the first half, and kudos to DNMK bringing it back. But at the end of the day, damage control got that extra one in the wins column. So it's a pretty interesting one. inciN's going to be the one we're looking at. 33-year-old male, yeah. Your eyes are not deceiving you, cuz. 33-year-old man, not 43, hectic, but he's rolling back the years and performing at a high level when his team needs him the most. So it's Mirage, it's CT side, and unfortunately I had to take a game that was a bit older than some others, just because Eskom said nah, don't want any games to be played in the midweek, which is rough, but I mean, it is what it is. It's just the way the crumble cookies are on these parts, huh? So we've got to see how inciN puts up impact on the CT side. There's one, there's two. How's it, inciN? Always good for two. And he's actually going to get the Mac 10 and dip out. But inciN's going to be more often than not the A anchor on Mirage, and he's going to lock it down for the damage control boys, rolling back the years. And another reason why I wanted to highlight this demo in particular was because on Tuesday night, myself and Wookie, we did the wildcard draw for the Evesports Season 2. And Damage Control is actually one of the teams that didn't qualify via winning their best of threes. It actually fell to Ikasi, I believe. I want to say in a best of 3. I think they got 2-0'd. I could be incorrect on that, so don't quote me on that. But they went since the wildcard draw along with 7 other teams. And they were one of the teams that got a spot. So we're gonna be seeing Damage Control at the main event, which is a sick one. It is a real sick one. A team with an incredible amount of history behind them. A team that dominated the South African scene, and they're still around to play, and they're still around to put up numbers in the server and take down DNMK. Like, who would have thought, eh? I'm pretty sure everyone would have thought it's a free win for DNMK. And not only did Damage Control make it as competitive as possible, but they actually ended up winning it. Like, I think that is unreal, to say the least. Like, genuinely nuts. So Hellhound's got the assist on Heartbreak on Cats. Now it's 2v2. Hellhound's in the red. Probably should be considering the save here. Just bite the tongue, consider the save. But it does look like they are going to be going for it. So much real estate to clear out on the B side, it's really rough. And inciN's going to be pushing in. Pretty confident someone's van or van pillar. No one bench. Onside, he gets the first frag, got to dive and they dip out. And Hellhound actually takes down Kani. And they got the defuse. Sick. I say consider the save and actually got the sick round win. Works out for them. 2-1. Keep in mind, 11-4, eh? 11-4, Oaks. Like, that is nuts. But inciN specifically went 21-6, so we missed one of his frags in the pistol round. As I said, I'm not going to play pistol rounds, and this is like genuinely an insane round. But it was, he only got one frag in the pistol round, so we're not going to miss out on much. He actually has a couple pistol rounds, and he gets a bit more than one, if you know what I'm saying. But Nexus is taken down wounded now. 4v3, he knows he can really give up some of this real estate, rather play for the round win than let them get the bomb plant. And a good rule of thumb is, like, listen, like, a bomb plant awards some cash for the teas, and even though it's nice to deny that sometimes, you know. At the end of the day, a round is priceless, you know. I think that's one thing to remember. No need to take risks in rounds like these. Like, I know it's a pretty bad example. I'm saying this in a 1v4, so you can sort of do something like that. But I mean, like, if it's a 2v1, for example, and you the 2, and you hear the bomb getting planted, you know, you don't have to do something wild to possibly win the round. You can just wait for your teammate, play together, because at the end of the day, even though a bomb plant gets the T's extra cash, at the end of the day, a round win is priceless for your team. So it's always something to remember. 5v5 in this round now. 3-1 is the scoreline. And inciN, again, he's just anchoring the same bomb site. His teammate's playing towards con. He's going to catch the man walking out of ramp, something the man really, really likes to do. He's the type of player who's sort of hit and miss, right? If he gets that kill, the A bomb site is pretty much vacant. He can swing jungle, he can swing a connector and possibly get another frag, but unfortunately it just doesn't work out. So it's a bit of a touch and go play, but he's going to be punished for that. inciN's going to take his number. And again, super safe for the A bomb site. 5v3, can give them the side all you want, retake together, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Just going to hold for his teammates push, and then you sort it. 4v2 now, and everything's looking pretty solid for the boys over at damage control. It is actually going to be the B site under question, so he's rotating in, trying to get some damage done. So it was a 2v4, now it's a 2v2, 2v1. inciN takes out Divo. Now it's inciN against 2 people on low HP, and Wounded takes him out. So sick job coming out from damage control. 4-1 is the scores on the doors, baby. And again, a super nice aggro ramp take. I'm quite a fan of this. I'm more a fan of it if you do it a 2-man, just a bit safer. Because the nice part about mollying that position of the ramp, so it's definitely something you can do in Face-It Pugs or even in your team officials and whatnot, is you molly the ramp and you can actually run behind the molly and take an aggressive peek. Reason being is the molly is loud for one, so you can run behind the T's when you hear the footsteps. And when the molly is on a higher elevation than the T's are, the way the fire burns for the T's in that scenario is they're looking into the fire and upwards, so they actually struggle to see a peeking CT behind it, right? So that's why that becomes pretty much more powerful. So it's an easier kill for the CTs. However, sometimes the molly, just the way the molly mechanics are, sometimes the smoke comes up, you don't really see the T, and then they get a frag on you. So it's a 1 or 2 round and a half sort of thing you can do to get an aggro ramp pick. So this is like sort of ramp control. Again, I'm not a particular fan of doing it 1-man, because like if he falls, then you can just run out A. But I mean, it's working perfectly fine. He actually catches a DNMK player on the retreat there. I think he did see him. There's no ways he didn't see him. Now it's 2v3. And pretty sure DNMK should just go B, right? Like, they spotted one aggro ramp, so they know max 1B. They could have hit the timing, but it seems like they're just going to chill. Where are they going to choose to go? Yeah, okay, they go B. So he's going to save the AWP and spawn. And he actually gets the frag onto the man, so not too bad, not too bad. But now he's going to purchase up the AWP, but now we're going to see him play a bit more passive towards CT. He's just going to post the ramp angle, which is something... It's pretty alright, considering you pretty much play retake A regardless, so you can get a frag fall off. And that's exactly how he's going to do. Heartbreak's going to contact out the ramp. First time he's picked up the AWP, so maybe something that's not really expected from DNMK, so it's a free frag, and just like that, it's a 2v5. Easy as you like. It's a pretty powerful angle to hold with the AWP. However, constructing a double AWP setup on Mirage, again, I'm not a massive fan of the double AWP setup on Mirage. I think it's doable, without a doubt. However, I think, like, for example, if you have an AWP CT and you have an AWP window, and you have to retake A, the natural rotate for the AWP window is to go CT, and then all of a sudden you got 2 AWP CT, which is pretty rough. But there's ways to work around it. A lot of teams like to pick up the AWP in B apps, take that whole lane out of the map, which is extremely powerful. But again, I'm more a fan of that, having just one AWP activated to that area. So the way to think about it is, like, if you have 4 rifles near A, the T's are going to have a real tough time trying to split the site, you know. It's pretty self-explanatory in that regard. But one team that has actually been putting the double AWP to good effect has actually been Complexity. I don't know if any of you have been watching Blast Spring recently, but Complexity have been, like, Complexity are my boys. Justin Savage, shout out to the boy. Massive fan of them. And they playing Unreal Counter-Strike. And they're a team that activates the double AWP pretty well. Again, Divo contacting our ramp. And inciN's gonna go back for more. How's it? My name's inciN and I'm always good for 2. Harry the boy. So he's got 2 in the round. He's holding this cross towards default. Pretty powerful angle. Needs to either get flashed off or he's gonna get a free frag. He does get flashed, but he still takes down Heartbreak. Sick 3 frags. Sick 3 frags. But as I was saying, one team that activates the double AWP quite well has actually been Complexity. I think Config likes to pick up the AWP towards apps, and then obviously Poison's back to hopefully to full health. I know his whole surgery situation was sort of kept under wraps, not really spoken a lot about, which I respect, player privacy and all that. And I'm glad to see Poison back. You know, he's a top player, top AWPer, and like I think we saw the first series they played Vitality on, and that was actually Zawu's like worst game. I think it went like 2 for 17 or something, and Poison was one of those players who you watch the highlights, and even though Poison didn't put up the sickest numbers, like the impact he had, the opening frags he got, covering Blame F, stuff like that, sick stuff. So, excuse me, it's a 1v2, and DNMK4 Sports or partially invested into that. Actually got the round with 7-3, so again, it's going to be inciN pushing toward ramp. Solo once more. He's going to find himself in this real nice cubby. So one thing when you're playing this ramp position is you don't actually want to hold it in this corner, right? Quite often it's pre-aimed or pre-fired. So you actually want to play a slight off angle. So even here, just a couple steps to the right, and you're pretty much sorted. The reason being, as I said, is when you're clearing out ramp as a T, when you're going to exec the bomb site, if they don't flash into ramp and thoroughly clear it, you're just going to throw air smokes, run through ramp. This is the off angle you want to be holding. A couple steps to the right, and you won't necessarily get pre-fired. So if you don't get checked, then you get a couple free frags, which is exactly what inciN's going to do. You know, you don't check your corners, he's going to make you pay. But one thing to do over towards ramp is just make sure you're holding a slight off angle. Reason being, obviously, off angles are more often than not with the rifle stronger than, excuse me, more powerful than on angles. Obviously, on angles is where two sort of one angles down a long sort of stretch, if you will. It's pretty self-explanatory, the thing between an on angle and an off angle. Excuse me. So for riflers, when you want to get the jump on the T's trying to peek you, it's always good to hold a good off angle. Reason being, you're not going to get cleared. You can get the first bullet off, especially with the M4. You need that first bullet headshot, more so than with the AK. Even though both of them are, you can make arguments for both of them. But I mean, just the way the M4 is, actually, he knows that there's one cat, and he knows that there's one app. So he saw two question marks on the map. So going to be rotating into B, but just something to keep in mind. Off angles are extremely powerful as CT, so you should implement that pretty much whenever possible. 2v2. Again, another sort of force buy from DNMK, partial investment sort of thing. And all of a sudden, DC on the ropes, 8-3. Both players rotating in through cat. The DNMK player's position is completely unknown. Kanye overfacing there towards markets. Not Heartbreaker spotted towards back Van Pillar, and he actually gets both. Empty Pillar rather, not Van Pillar. But that was almost a dot throw from Kanye there. Pistol round. Spotted a couple players towards ramp. He gets one. Oh! Gets two onto Heartbreak. I like it. Okay, takes down the man. Takes down Heartbreak. Able to get the AWP. Big fan of that. Bombs in spawn. Gonna pose towards stairs on the other side of spawn. Flash. He knows the player's coming. 6 shots. 2v3. Is he gonna go back for more? He's going back for more. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it at the end of the day. It is what it is. Harry's feeling it. He's feeling it in the service. 21 for 6 against DNMK. Nuts. Sick stuff. And being the A anchor. He's not even a con player or a mid player. He's being a turret on the A bomb side, bro. Unreal performance and pivotal to damage control success on the CT side, a nice frag on towards Kanye. The bomb's dropped. He's cleared out the flank. Divers positions now known on the bomb site. Now it's 2v1. Bomb's been planted, so now inciN's job is to clear the right side of the site. Divers cleared it. Divers peeked out towards the right, and inciN's got the sick trade. Another round win. Another 1v1. Clutch. Big game player out here is inciN. Last round. Scores in the doors. Not sure. I think he's got about 19 frags so far. Plus minus. Should be good for a couple more frags in this round. Again, picking up the orb towards CT. But one thing DNMK should pick up on, there's no early ramp util that's been thrown. So then you should possibly realize that there's more than likely an orb poster here. Previously with the rifle, he's been throwing ramp smokes, ramp mollies, nades, whatever. And now there's no util. So surely if you're DNMK, you've clicked onto this, you've understood, okay, the likelihood of them being an AWP is heightened, but they're just going to flash over A. Actually not going to commit just yet, so... One thing they say about damage control, bro, is they never take the bait of a fake. They never take it, bro. Never ever. 45 seconds left. Still post this ramp. All guys are faring him well. That's if he hits the shot, at least. Stair smoke, jungle smoke, a couple flashes. Real bad timing on the hit from DNMK, but inciN's going to be good for one so far. Surely shouldn't peek out for another. Flash to delay them a bit more, holding this palace angle. He's actually going to peek out. He gets one. I mean, he gets one, which is the important thing, but Heartbreak gets the trade. The man goes down, now it's Heartbreak in a 1v2, and Style clears him up. So, just like that, there we go. That's it. That's all she wrote, bro. A sick CT side coming out from Harry, the boy inciN. Rolling back the years, performing at the top of his game, and ultimately taking the scalp of DNMK. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean, look, we're not going to talk about the T side. Wounded, took them over the line. Considering DNMK were down 11-4, they had a real rough T side, and then they had a 6 CT side. But I mean, like, I think the stand-up performer, the standout half had to be inciN. And I mean, it's just the way it is. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so no one upload next. And every Tuesday and Thursday there'll be an upload on the channel, so come to check it out. And I'll leave the links to Evesports down in the description below. That's going to be the tournament coming up next week. Tuesday and Thursday are the broadcast days. 16 teams, double elim, BO3s, 6 teams playing. Will be broadcast. I'll link all that down below to keep up to date. Follow me on Twitter for updates and all that good stuff. But guys, I'll catch you on the flip.